So far, we've been able to provide a contractual basis for the operation of the project and to make sure that the partners feel supported and informed about how they meet their own regulatory requirements. So there's a lot of focus on making sure that risks are managed and that the independent oversight can be achieved as well across the partner sites, the clinical sites, and the technological sites as well. We've given a good amount of advice about leveraging new technologies and contractual obligations as well, understanding risks, but also thinking about the ethical considerations that are part of the process, as we've seen with the development of the pilot study. But we're hoping that those tangible benefits will help inform the changing regulatory landscape as well as we move forward. I'm very pleased to say that the challenges that we've encountered have either been foreseen or they're easily managed. The challenges really relate to being able to communicate what we're trying to do with the new technology, but within a landscape that is very nervous about new technology and impinging on people's rights and their day-to-day living and requirements around behaviour change, about their own management of their condition or their health. So it's marrying an area that's got a lot of anxiety with an area that is deeply personal as well. And part of the challenges that arise are trying to understand new requirements and new legislation, but communication is absolutely vital, and understanding and listening is vital as well. So I think broadly speaking, we've been able to address the challenges. We're looking forward to the next round as we move forward. There are twofold, really. One is the impact on individuals in exploring an area that's sensitive and can be distressing. The other is thinking about the new technology that's being derived and thinking about not only people's autonomy and making decisions for themselves, but also making sure that clinical sites are able to engage with their participants and answer their questions about what's happening. So I think there's a real challenge here about transparency of intervention as well as the meaningful impact of the intervention. So on the one hand, there are theories that can be applied and are well tested, especially around gamification, around engaging with people and so forth. But on the other hand, people are still trying to understand what the impact of AI is in their day-to-day lives as well. So we're having to be very careful about how AI is applied, but also how we communicate it. There's an overwhelming ethical consideration there. But when it comes down to it, as with any chronic condition, as with any activity that you do, you can only do your best. So being able to make sure people are aware that they can work as hard as they can and do their best for their health outcomes, nothing can be guaranteed in the end. And that's always a challenge with individuals, particularly in this area. We've applied a risk management approach that was steeped in the General Data Protection Regulation. It focuses on data protection by design and default. And by looking at the data requirements for the project, from that, the most important part is identifying who the stakeholders are, what the partners are doing, what they need to be able to achieve, whom they are receiving data from, and at the center of all of this when it comes down to it, is the participant as well. So that is your starting point, at which point you can start to leverage the known ethical considerations around the activity of the data, as well as the participants' safeguarding and well-being. But the important aspect here is to make sure that there's a consistent understanding across the project of what everyone is trying to achieve. And by having a project-wide data protection impact assessment, that's been a focal point to make sure everyone is on the same page and is working towards the same goals that are specific to each partner, but are part of the project overall. So in terms of making sure that everyone is up to speed, there's that common understanding. There's also the engagement with each partner and making sure they feel that they can ask questions. There's no wrong answer here. What's important is to come forward and to talk about what's happening. And that seems to be occurring really nicely. So they're making it quite easy for us in that sense.